The warehouse was a blasphemy of a surgical ward. Instead of life-saving equipment, rusty chains were caked in blood, dull knives stood in for scalpels, and hospital gowns were replaced with crimson-hooded shrouds. The chant of the cultists in a foul tongue repeated themselves over and over again. A pregnant woman lay on a filthy operating table on top of a ritual circle drawn in blood. The cult leader stepped forward, his hand gripping a ceremonial dagger.
"O my Crimson King, bless this vessel before you with your unholiness and the seventh ender of worlds."
With both hands gripping the wicked dagger, he raised it in the air above him with absolute conviction, intent on bringing their demonic god to the human realm.
"I offer myself up as tribute, O my king!"
Suddenly, bang! The doors came crashing down as Agent Raven busted them wide open.
"Stop! This is the... What the...."
He saw in front of him the profane scenery and was quickly taken over by rage.
"You bunch of filthy bastards! I'll send you all to hell!"
He couldn't think. Raven simply opened fire, for all that was in the room were evil and must be stopped.
Die!
Raven kept squeezing the trigger until the magazine ran empty and started clicking. It took him a moment to realize. Raven threw his rifle away, but his hands couldn't stop shaking. Then an ever so faint laughter was heard. Raven pulled out his sidearm and charged at the crazed zealot. He pushed the barrel firmly against his forehead.
"What's so funny, huh? I should just end you right now." "You're too late, Foundation. You can't stop this. The ritual is complete." "What are you saying?"
Suddenly, an ear-piercing scream echoed through the room.
"Behold, the seventh child of Scarlet King, the World Eater, the bringer of end times!" "No!"
Raven rushed to the woman's side as she writhed on the table with excruciating agony. Conflicted, he wrestled with his inner turmoil. She's about to give birth to something terrible. Do I shoot her? Or do I save her? But how? Raven's head was about to burst, but it was too late anyway, for the ritual was completed. The seventh child of the Scarlet King, the World Eater, and the bringer of end times was born. Before them was a golden, slimy, translucent blob, almost like jelly even. It looked as menacing as a golden retriever. The newborn gurgled and slithered around, sniffing its surroundings like a curious puppy.
"What?"
Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today we bring you SCP Foundation SAFE Class Object SCP-999. SCP-999 appears as a large, amorphous, gelatinous mass of translucent orange slime. It weighs about 120 pounds and has a consistency similar to that of peanut butter. 999 is capable of changing its shape and size at will, though its preferred form closely resembles a dome. Its body is filled with an unknown viscous orange substance. It can also eat and digest organic matter with ease. The purpose of 999's birth is to usher in the end of the world, plunging it into chaos and utter mayhem. Yet, nothing could be further from the truth about the squishy ball of joy. Despite its horrific origin, it is not only well-mannered, but is also welcomed by all Foundation personnel. 999 loves to hug and snuggle with just about anyone, all the while emitting gurgling and cooing noises. Simply touching it will bring relief and happiness to even the most miserable existence. A far cry from the would-be god of death that the children of the Scarlet King had envisioned. It's truly hard to think that the world was supposed to end on the night of the birth of SCP-999. The Tickle Monster. In a realm as far away as you can imagine, but closer to us than anyone is comfortable admitting, resides one of the most powerful and horrifying ancient beings in existence, the Scarlet King. A being whose only thoughts are destruction, where every single desire means to bring about harm and devastation in the most grotesque ways imaginable. This personification of evil and oblivion is held in check by a single chain. Legends speak of its power to conquer and destroy worlds, threatening all creations across dimensions. Even the low elder gods tread lightly around the Overlord. Thus, the Scarlet King is classified as a multiverse threat. The Scarlet King's depiction varies across different sources. Its true appearance is beyond comprehension, so its form changes depending on who gazes upon it. It is said that the Scarlet King is the manifestation of humans' dissatisfaction with modern life, a primal desire to return to violence, a secret yearning for the darkness long before time. It hungers for negative emotions and infects anyone who opposes it with madness. As such, the Scarlet King is worshipped as an unholy deity by its followers, predominantly the cult called the Children of the Scarlet King. These fanatics seek to quell the weakness in humanity by promoting endless wars, casting away any idea of peace and freedom. The Children of the Scarlet King constantly perform rituals in an attempt to free their demonic god from imprisonment. One such ritual involved preparing 7 young girls as appropriate vessels to bear their master's horrid offspring. And their purpose? To usher in a new age of chaos and disarray. Each birth caused more destruction than the last, and the last and 7th birth was said to bring about the apocalypse. However, the 7th bride was not like the rest. Her will was not broken by the king's subjugation, and thus, instead of an eldritch horror, she gave birth to SCP-999, with the hopes that one day it will defeat its 6 siblings and overthrow its father, the Scarlet King. But for now, 999 has found its home in the SCP Foundation. Its caring nature and playful demeanor is a welcome addition for the personnel and their morale. 999 even engages in spirited tickle wrestling matches with the staff, especially his favorite ones.
Hey, stop it. Oh God, not that spot. Have mercy.
However, due to its size, it may accidentally hurt its opponent when things get too excited sometimes.
Oh, my arm! My arm! Ah! It's okay. Don't worry. Not your fault. This is but an easy fix. Just gotta get to the infirmary. Oh.
Recently, 999 has been helping Dr. Jack Bright's therapy sessions to help Foundation personnel suffering from mental trauma. After his mission, Agent Raven was called in for a session with Dr. Bright.
My hands haven't stopped shaking since. I can still feel myself pulling the trigger. I couldn't help it, but I know I did the right thing. God, I was so close to ending her life right then and there. That poor woman, she doesn't deserve this.
999 gurgled and cooed as it snuggled against the remorseful agent, comforting him.
Agent Raven, if it wasn't for you, she might not have made it at all. What's important is that she's safe now. You did a lot of good there in that hellhole. You've saved a life and brought back a wonderful asset to the Foundation. Good job. You should be proud.
Indeed, what was born that night was everything but the bringer of Armageddon. As the golden blob slithered over to the dying cultist, he felt bliss that he had never felt before. And for a fleeting moment, regret. The cult leader died with a smile on his face, even after knowing that his plan was thwarted by the goodwill of humanity. Such is the contradiction of life. Agent Raven walked over and picked up the orange goop. When it touched him, he felt serenity and tranquility, a glimmer of hope in a sea of madness. Currently, 999 is allowed to roam freely within the facility, but must stay in its room either between 8 to 9 p.m. to sleep or during emergency lockdown for its own safety. 999 is not allowed out of its pen at night or off facility grounds at any time. 999's room must be kept clean and have its food replaced twice daily. Any Foundation personnel on break are allowed inside to interact with it. 999 is to be played with when bored and spoken to in a calm, non-threatening tone. Dr. Bright sat at his desk, reading a document. SCP-999 slithered to his side and let out a gurgle.
Yes, all nines. Joaquin is the only survivor from an encounter with SCP-017, the shadowy shroud that hates anything that casts a shadow. We talked about him last week, here. Apparently, Joaquin entered the cell to change a faulty bulb, and despite the multiple fail-safes, a small shadow was cast, and that's how the whole thing went south. SCP-017 took advantage of it and swallowed Joaquin whole. Joaquin has been suffering from night terrors ever since. But something's not right.
999 gurgled with confusion and tilted its head.
Usually 017 leaves nothing behind. However, it coughed Joaquin back out almost immediately. He was left on the floor, screaming and crying in terror. Then 017 retreated to the corner of the room, like it was afraid of Joaquin. But why? I think something even worse is at play here, Nines.
Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today, we bring you a tale from the SCP Foundation. Dr. Jack Bright, a high-level researcher in the Foundation, conducted a series of therapy sessions with the aid of SCP-999. Together, they welcomed a new patient each week, healing them of their traumas by entering their dreams and editing out the horrors in their minds. And today's patient was Joaquin Del Rio, a former Mexican FES Special Forces operative turned Foundation field agent.
Joaquin should be here any minute now. Nines?
999 gurgled and nodded. It slithered over to the couch and shapeshifted into a comfy-looking blanket. Then there was a knock on the door.
Speak of the devil. Come in.
Joaquin entered the room. His disheveled hair and heavy bags underneath his eyes screamed of countless, sleepless nights and of mental torment.
Hey, Doc. Please excuse my, this. I haven't been sleeping much. I've been told to come see you about 017, or my dreams.
Yes, I've been waiting for you, Joaquin. Please, make yourself comfortable.
Joaquin took a seat on the dark leather couch and covered his lap with 999. It gently pressed and adhered to Joaquin's skin as he settled in comfortably. Bright sat across the couch and observed Joaquin for a moment.
All right then, let's get into it. What's going on?
Well, there was this incident with 017, and these nightmares, horrible things, they won't stop.
I see. Tell me about these dreams.
Bright walked to his drawer and took out a metronome. Once the beat was set, he placed it on the desk.
Close your eyes, use the clicking rhythm to breathe, and tell me what you see. Tell me what's in those dreams of yours.
Hypnotism, Doc. You really think that's going to work?
Bright interrupted impatiently.
Just try it. The worst that can happen is you falling asleep from sheer boredom.
Trust me, you won't sleep well after this.
Bright sighed, then looked straight at Joaquin with his piercing gaze.
It's not that you can't sleep, is it? You just don't want to.
For a moment, there was only silence, interrupted occasionally by the metronome's rhythmic beat. Bright's words seemed to have struck a nerve within Joaquin.
Why would I want to? Every time I do, I see the face of the devil. But I'm here to get past this, and you're the person who's supposed to be able to help with that. All right, lead the way, Doc.
Joaquin closed his eyes reluctantly. The blanket stretched a tentacle-like appendage towards Bright to hold on to. 999 wrapped itself around Joaquin even more, comforting him as he drifted off into a deep slumber. Bright and 999 enter Joaquin's dream. They found themselves standing inside a dimly lit house, facing a closed door. A familiar scene for Joaquin, but an alien one for Bright and the Blob of Joy.
Where are we, Joaquin?
It always starts like this. After the darkness swallowed me, I got sent back to this house. And this is where I lost it.
Lost what?
My mind.
They pushed the door open and walked into a messy living room where a painful scream echoed. Joaquin winced as he saw another him on the ground, back against the wall, all bloodied up. Beside him was a knife. A portrait of the Scarlet King hung above the body, staring down at them menacingly. 999 gurgled fearfully and hid behind Bright.
The Scarlet King.
That's the thing controlling the house. It just keeps on watching me.
Bright and company left the room the same way they came in. The living room disintegrated behind him in a flash of blinding white light. And with that part of Joaquin's memory was purged. They were now in what appears to be a kitchen. Joaquin let out a scream when he realized their location.
This is what you see after 017 swallowed you?
No, there is nothing in that void, just me, floating in endlessness with my memories. Plus, 017 left me on the floor. I screamed because I remembered this place. This kitchen is where I'm forced to eat.
To eat?
You'll see.
Another Joaquin sat nervously at the far end of a long table, with a portrait of the Scarlet King hung on the wall behind him. Before him sat plates and plates of chicken tenders. With ravenous desperation, he devoured the meal, as if driven mad by his insatiable hunger. However, the chicken tenders suddenly turned into human hands. Joaquin sat there crying, with his mouth stuffed to the brim.
This is the part where I usually wake up screaming. The next room, I don't want to go.
999 gurgled nervously, as if agreeing with Joaquin.
Joaquin, for this to work, we need to go through the entire thing. We'll get through this together. If we don't, it'll only continue to haunt you until you finally go insane.
Next, the library. Just like before, the kitchen was erased in a white flash. The library was on fire. They saw yet another Joaquin, kneeling in the middle of the room, cradling his head, shaking and crying. The daunting portrait of the Scarlet King loomed on the wall over him as an ever-watchful presence.
What's happening here?
Joaquin didn't answer, looking away from his kneeling self.
Please, no more.
Suddenly, multiple spikes shot out from the ground, impaling the kneeling Joaquin. However, as if relenting, the spikes gradually retracted as they morphed back into the ground. Joaquin's gaping wounds then began to heal in agonizing slowness.
Please, end my misery.
After a moment, the spikes impaled him again, and he was healed once more. It was an unending cycle of agony and fleeting relief. Joaquin could not bear to look.
What are these visions we're seeing?
It showed me things from my time as a soldier. I was tortured, but they kept me alive and forced me to eat what was left of my crew so I wouldn't starve to death. These are the extreme versions. Hell is repetition. Isn't that what they say?
This is only a dream. You'll be okay.
When it keeps happening every time you close your eyes, trust me, it becomes your reality. I don't know how long I was here. It felt like years. It was unbearable. That's why I cast the shadow in that cell.
You what?
I wanted everything to end. No more nightmares. No more hell. I thought 017 could do it. I thought I was finally free. But it simply spat me out. It refused me. Said I was marked by something else. But no longer. Because now I feel free.
And with a final flash, Joaquin's last memory of his hell was clipped away, concluding the session.
Wake up! Come on, man, wake up!
Bright snapped his fingers desperately, trying to wake his patient to no avail.
You've been asleep for hours. Wake up!
Joaquin slowly opened his eyes, then suddenly jumped out of the couch.
I slept!
For about 5 hours. I had to take the other patients to the next office. We could hear you snoring.
Bright helped Joaquin to his feet and guided him to the door.
Take some days off. I'll let management know. When you get back, please come see me one last time. And no more talk about ending things.
Sure, Doc.
As Joaquin left the room, Bright closed the door and rushed to the couch.
All nines, are you okay?
999 morphed back into its original blob form and gurgled energetically.
You had me worried. Those weren't real dreams, were they? They were implanted there.
The blob gurgled and nodded nervously. It seemed that Bright had stumbled upon a greater game at play. What torturous wonders make up the human mind, and what things dwell in the darkness of dreams, he wondered. And this was just the beginning. 999's head split open, lined with heinous teeth-like protrusions. A beam of red and black energy burst forth into the clouds. The sky quaked as a vortex formed above, painting everything black. Gusts of wind sweep through fields, uprooting the ground and trees alike. Down below, 682 stood steadfast and relished in the destruction and chaos around it.
Yes, embrace your destiny.
999 slammed a huge tentacle down next to the puny lizard, barely missing it, as if telling it to shut the hell up. Now fully healed and at the ready, the re-energized beast looked up at 999 with newfound excitement.
All the more reason for me to utterly crush you. Come, fight me.
Brandishing its razor-sharp claws that put all blades to shame, and baring its hardened fangs that can crush the toughest objects with ease in its gaping maw, 682 charged right into the enormous blob of death. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today, we bring you a tale from the SCP Foundation. Light broke through the darkness as the main hatch opened. A golden blob entered the now dimly lit room. A tentacle-like appendage stretched over and flipped a switch, illuminating the area. There, an enormous reptile lay asleep. Its eyes fluttered open as light hit its face. A growl of discomfort followed. The two anomalies were meeting for the first time, both fundamentally different to the core. SCP-682, hard-to-destroy reptile, is the very definition of wrath. Conversely, SCP-999, the Tickle Monster, is quite the opposite. Born via the unholiest of rituals, the would-be world-ender entered the world loving all forms of life. Behind an array of monitors stood two figures, watching as everything unfolded, like higher beings looking down on pawns with plans. They undoubtedly had everything under control. However, do things ever go according to plan in this grim world? 682 and 999 stared at one another with curious expressions. Both felt an unspoken familiarity between them, but just couldn't quite put their tongues on it.
I sense a familiarity between us, a connection that I know you feel as well. I remember this feeling. We are kin.
Without warning, 682 swung its massive tail at 999 with bloodlust. 999 swiftly flattened itself, narrowly avoiding the slap of a lifetime.
Meaning you carry our father's stench. All the more reason for me to vanquish you.
682 stomped its clawed foot down on 999, pinning it to the floor. The draconic entity brought its snout closer and stretched open its vicious maw, acid brewing before stopping suddenly.
What are you doing to me? You will not quell my rage so easily.
Upon contact, the Tickle Monster brings about feelings of peace and tranquility, something 682 had never experienced. Thus, it responded in the only way it knew how, with extreme violence. 682 let out a thunderous roar, causing the enclosure to quake and tremble. It brought both its forelimbs up and smashed down upon 999, forming a huge crater with a new golden paint job. Meanwhile, the two figures watched in silence.
That cell was supposed to contain that thing? All units prepare to engage 682 and retrieve 999.
Calm down, Captain. Everything's within expectations. Please stay still and continue observing.
Fine.
Proceed.
682 has never known a pleasant sleep. It usually dreams of otherworldly horrors, wars, bloodshed, and mayhem, or perhaps it considered them pleasant. But this time was different. It was floating in the lake alone under moonlight. Unbeknownst to it, a piece of slime was stuck to 682's foot, placing it under 999's effect. Meanwhile, 999 was slowly regenerating itself. Its splattered pieces crawled and regrouped themselves on 682's foot. However, when 999 returned, it felt different. Never before had it felt such an intense emotion. It was the feeling of pure hatred, and it felt good. An elite squad of MTF stationed themselves just outside 682's cell. Suddenly, 682 blasted through the entrance, wiping out more than half the squad instantly. The remaining soldiers quickly regained composure and trained their sights on 682. However, they soon realized that 682 was not the aggressor. Closer inspection revealed 682 having sustained heavy damage and was bleeding buckets. Then suddenly, the walls and ceiling came crashing down. An even larger, more sinister shadow loomed over them now. Everyone turned around and saw a gigantic blood-red 999 with eyes darker than the void. The two figures were stunned by what they were witnessing.
I thought you had everything under control.
I don't understand. This shouldn't be happening.
But who could have really known what would have happened when two inexplicably linked unknowns clashed against one another? How much did the Foundation truly understand when it came to SCP-682, hard-to-destroy reptile, and SCP-999, the Tickle Monster?
I'm going in.
No, we have to see this through till the end.
No one could do nothing but run. 999 spread itself rapidly across the landscape like lava. The soldiers could not outrun death. Buildings dissolved and flora wilted as the demonic slime expanded. A giver of joy once, now a taker of lives. And it's all thanks to its encounter with 682, courtesy of the Foundation. Instead of absorbing 682's hate and neutralizing it, 999 was corrupted by it. In the tranquil lake.
What's going on?
This time, it's standing on the water, and in front of it was 999.
No matter, because you are here. Come, we fight.
682 unleashed a mighty roar, so great that it echoed into the distance. Yet, the lake in 999 remained still. The beast seemed to have noticed something was off.
Your eyes look empty. Why do we fight? It is in our nature as beings of the beyond. However, I fight of my own will. I'm contradicting myself. Life itself is full of contradictions. I simply take advantage of whatever situation suits me. Yes, you yourself were a contradiction. Enough talk. We fight. What do you mean you've had enough?
Without warning, 999 and 682 were pulled into the lake, sinking deep into the void underneath. The world was calm. The beam of unholy light rescinded, as did the storm. The winds no longer howled, and the sky was clear once more. Sunlight hit 999, now no longer tainted with red, as it regurgitated 682. Immediately, a slash of the reptile's monstrous claws splattered 999, though it quickly reformed. 682 then stood and watched as 999 waved goodbye and slid away. And then it was silence, save for the burning of rubble and yelling of people from the aftermath. 682 was pleased with the sight. The two figures stepped into view. This was the result of their experiment. This was what happened when humans tried to play God.
Is this what you wanted, Observer? Are you satisfied?
No, I didn't mean for it to go this far.
One swipe of the tail and only 2 pairs of feet were left standing on the ground. If 999 is to be the supposed ultimate savior of humanity, the one to put an end to the Scarlet King, then it appears that the golden blob of joy still has a long way to go. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Have a favorite SCP you want to see on this channel? Leave us your suggestions in the comments down below. In the meantime, if you'd like to see more SCP content, then check out some of our other videos right here. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye!